Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. In Southern California here, it's raining today. And my name is Mark Kageyama, and I'm a stage 4 cancer patient with prostate, bone, and lung cancer. And I'd like to welcome everyone here to our interview with Katie Gasparri of Katie Heals. And at this time, what I'd like to do is something different. I'd like to dedicate this video to my friend, Lauren Lua, who I just found out this morning passed away. And Lauren and I go back quite a few years. I imagine 10, 11, 12 years. I met her and her husband, John, at a networking event years ago, and I'll never forget it. And ever since then, we've kept in touch, and she lives up in Northern California. I live in Southern California. And, whenever she was down in the area, we'd get together for coffee and or breakfast or something like that. And then, ironically, I reached out to her, or she reached out to me. I don't remember which, but it turned out that we both had cancer starting at the same time. And so there was a lot of things that we had to talk about. We were both on the same page as far as, how we wanted to treat our cancers. And so we were all constantly sending things back and forth by text. And Lauren is also just a wonderful person, and she has tremendous faith in God, and so I know that she's in a much better place with God, and so that's what made me feel good this morning. I didn't feel good about getting the call, but I appreciated the call from her husband John this morning, and I actually got the call late last night. And when you get a call from somebody you don't hear from very often, it just I was concerned. I was thinking, oh, maybe she's in the hospital, or I hope that she hasn't passed away, but that's what happened. She passed away on Tuesday. She got the flu shot a couple of weeks ago, and ever since then, she's had a problem with her kidneys, and so we touched base, and I hope everybody would just pray for Lauren and John and their family, that things. I know she's in a better place. I absolutely know that. So anyway, this video I am dedicating to Lauren and John. And at this time, what I'd like to do, I hope everybody is enjoying the holiday season, and we're going to keep running these every week. And I want to also give a quick health update. I had my bone scan yesterday, and I need to consult with my oncologist as far as the gibberish that they put, describing what happened. But to me, it looked like the results were good, but I need to verify that with the oncologist later on today. So I will keep everybody abreast as to what's happening. So at this time, what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce everyone to my good friend and co-host of Cancer Conquering Community, which we have on Clubhouse every other Thursday. And our last Clubhouse venture presentation last Thursday came out really, really well, and we thank all the people involved. And it's growing, and we look forward to having more of you. So at this time, it's my great pleasure to introduce Katie Gasparri of Katie Heals. Katie?
Thank you so much, Mark. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I'm definitely going to keep keeping Lauren and John in my prayers. So yeah, my name is Katie Gasparri, founder of Katie Heals Consulting. And Mark and I met on LinkedIn. What was it, back in the spring?
Somewhere around there.
And, we immediately connected because we have a lot in common. So do you want me to go into that, Mark?
Yes, please.
All right. So for most of my life, ever since I was a little girl, I started going to the doctor and I started getting diagnosed with weird symptoms, which didn't make sense because I was an athlete. So I was working out all the time, year round, and I ate fruits and vegetables. But I just kept going to the doctor ever since I was about 7, 8 years old. And I started getting, diagnoses like irritable bowel syndrome, kidney stones. By the time I was a teenager, I was getting diagnosed with autoimmune disease. And then I went on to university because I wanted to be a special education teacher because I love helping people and I love children. So I loved helping children. And so I graduated university in 4 years with 2 degrees. And at the same time, I was getting diagnosed with heart disease. And I was really confused on what it meant to be healthy. Because I was skinny and I worked out and I ate a few fruits and vegetables and I drank a lot of water, I was really, really confused. And then throughout my 20s, I landed my dream job. I was traveling the world. I had a nest egg. I was constantly going out and loving life and being surrounded by family and friends. And then in 2014, I was in a horrible accident and it left me with a traumatic brain injury. And because of my pre-existing conditions, I could not heal. And at that time in 2017, a few years later, I was going to 18 doctor's appointments a week. And I was just really confused. I was anxious, I was depressed, I was stressed, I was 30 pounds overweight, and I was doing all of the things to get better. I was going to acupuncture, chiropractic care, regular doctors, neurologists, Chinese herbs, you name it. I was doing it, but I wasn't getting any better. And finally, that's pretty much when I realized, in 2017, the doctor told me I'd be disabled 5 or 10 more years. And at that point, I was 31 and I was like, I'm not even married. I want to have children. This isn't me. I'm not an unhappy person. I'm not stressed. I'm not anxious. This is just not me. Like I didn't even recognize myself anymore, And so I knew that deep down that cancer ran in my family. And I knew that if I did not get this under control, meaning the anxiety and the stress and the depression and the excess weight that I was carrying around, on top of all my pre-existing conditions, I knew I was going to get cancer. I had seen it in my family. And I knew if I didn't change what I was doing, that was the next diagnosis. I had already been diagnosed with heart disease and autoimmune disease and all these other things. And so I just knew I had this feeling that I'm going to get it if I don't do something about this. And so in 2017 is when I decided to become my own health advocate, which is what I teach my clients now, is how to be their own health advocate. And I just started to do my own research. And then within 2 months after doing research and applying that research long-term, I lost 30 pounds and I went from stressed, depressed, anxious, and overweight to happy, losing 30 pounds, not really anxious anymore and loving life again. And I was no longer disabled in bed. And I was like, wow, if it's this easy, I've got to help people. And that's really how Katie Heals Consulting was birthed. I realized that I had to get this information out to help people who are just like me, who are constantly going to the doctor, constantly getting new symptoms and knowing that like, this isn't me. And, they think they're healthy, right? I was eating a few fruits and vegetables. I was an athlete. I drank a lot of water. So I thought I was healthy. But when I realized that I wasn't healthy, was when I just wasn't getting any better, which is where I see society's at right now. We're constantly trying to do the same thing. We're not recreating the wheel. We're just doing the same thing over and over again. But, I was expecting a different result until I was no longer getting a different result. And I was forced to resign from my job. And I just realized like, I have to do this alone. And And that's what I'm teaching, now my clients, just like how to, the right tools, and the right delivery method, and then giving support and accountability, because, we all want to feel better and do better, but sometimes, we have these roadblocks that get in our way. And so I feel like I was divinely guided to do this to help others.
That's wonderful, Katie. It brought me back to thinking how we actually did meet on LinkedIn, and we were talking about this the other day, and a gentleman. I'm going to have to go back and research who that person was, because I need to give them a great thank you. But somebody told me, hey, you need to get in touch with Katie Gasparri. And so that this was early on into my journey of really connecting with people, and so my journey started. I needed to talk to people who've been there and done that, and that was really important to me, to talk to the people that are going through stuff, and stuff meaning cancer, heart disease, whatever it may be, because the journeys are very similar. And so I reached out to Katie, and instantly, I mean, it was instant. We just got along. And so, we started talking about, hey, what could we do? And so, you know, what it is now that we do is Cancer Conquering Community on Clubhouse. And so I really enjoy doing that with her. And we're meeting some really, really amazing people through it. And that's what it takes, is what a lot of people do when they get cancer or they get diagnosed with something major is they shrink, is they start saying, oh, I got to deal with this myself. And that's, in my opinion, that's the wrong thing to do. You should go outwards and reach out to people, and because the answers are out there, and it's up to us to find them, and it's up to us to connect with the people who know the answers. And so that's one of the reasons why Katie and I got along so well. She lives on the East Coast, I live on the West Coast of the United States, but it doesn't matter. We talk on Zoom all the time. And yeah, I appreciate Katie so much, because she's, we just keep throwing stuff at each other, and that's how we learn. Hey, did you see this, or did you see that? And we send each other stuff, and it's all really good, and it's all, and the reason is because we're bound and determined to help each other and help people, and that's what makes it so great. You have anything to add to that, Katie?
I think the part where you said that you got to reach out and ask and talk to people and like ask for help. And, when you said that, I just thought, like, how I was raised, we were raised to not ask for help, to kind of like brush things under the rug. So for me, when I started to heal and ask for help, that was also healing like a deep like belief that like, oh, you can't ask people for help. You don't want to burden them. Everybody has stressors, right? So for me, and now I love asking people for help. It's just so empowering, and researching and shooting ideas off of people. That's why I love the Cancer Conquering Community and building it, because I just feel like we're all there to help and support each other and grow. And that's what we're here to do. I think we've gotten lost in all of this rat race of society, but I really feel like we're here to just help each other, empower each other to be the best version of ourselves.
Absolutely. And it's such a great thing to connect with people who want to better themselves and want to get healthy, and who want to really honestly do better, not only for themselves but for others. And with that kind of attitude, that's what makes our community grow, as well as our networks grow. And it's a beautiful thing, when people can connect on that type of level. Because what I found interesting connecting with people who have stuff is immediately there's a connection with the right person, of course. And you know, you just have this innate something. I can't describe it until it's something that you have to experience. But unlike when you first meet, you know, a regular person on the street or through social media or something like that, there's like this jockeying position and everybody is trying to learn, you know, about the other person, and you know, you don't want to reveal all this, you know, about you right off the bat because of this and that. But with people who have stuff, you just cut through all of that. And it's really, really great because, you know, like in the instance with Katie and I, we just like immediately just started pouring out ourselves and our hearts to each other. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing, because that's where you really get to know people and to get to know the essence of the person. And that's the first thing that's so good in your parallel journey to getting better.
Totally. And I really resonate with opening my heart up, you know, and just being vulnerable and allowing people to see the stuff. So, you know, because, you know, I learn a lot from you, Mark, and you help me grow. And then I'm sure maybe I help you and I help you grow. And that's just community. And so, yeah, that's, you know, exactly what I'm here. And I know you're here to grow. It's just to help people open their hearts and really connect.
Yes, absolutely. I believe, and you know, I wish Lauren was here right now, because she would have just like jumped in and would have been, because she was very open and you know, very thoughtful, and you know, we were always shooting stuff back and forth with each other. So yeah, I mean, she would have resonated with this completely. In fact, I was, you know, I had plans to do an interview with Lauren, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen now. But yeah, that's what life's all about, is just connecting in a real way with people, and on a level that, you know, both of you are vulnerable, instead of this, you know, like barrier in between, you know, in between. Get rid of that barrier and get to know the person, because that's the most important thing, is getting to know, really, really know the person. And the only way that you do that is you strip off the layers and you know, remove the shields and remove the barriers, and that way you can get to really know the person. And you know, you'd be really, really surprised that, you know, some of the things that you can experience. And that's, to me, is the beauty of life, is getting to really know people.
I would agree. And I feel like that's what led me to becoming my own health advocate, is like when I would go to the doctor, I didn't feel like they were treating me like a human, you know, like I just felt like I was a number and like a checklist. And it wasn't really like, I just didn't feel like they were listening to me, you know, when I was talking about how anxious I was, or how stressed I was, or, you know, how I wasn't feeling better for years. And, you know, they just kept, you know, writing me off like another prescription or another test or another diagnosis. But like, I really wasn't feeling heard on like a compassionate level, like an empathetic, compassionate, like level of an open heart. I just felt like, you know, and now I know after research is that doctors have like 7 minutes to be with you. And so that's why I was a number, you know, they've got to get to the next person. And so, yeah, I just felt that way in the world. And I was like, well, to heal, you have to really feel heard, like you really want to express how you're feeling. And when I couldn't express it that way, I had to find an alternative.
Yeah, no, that's, through my cancer journey, you have to fight for yourself, period. You have to uh, not allow the medical system to do its medical system stuff. You have to uh, change that narrative and make sure that, it's important. You are a person, and they need to know that you are a person. And most people just, go to their doctor, and the doctor says, oh, I've got my 7 minutes, and, here's what you need to do. They look at it, your vitals and and your test results and things like that, and they say, oh, you need this, this, and this, and it's off to the next patient. And uh, everybody's different, and everybody handles it differently. But and this is why I started my YouTube channel, to be your own hero. And you have to be your own hero, your own advocate, if you want the best treatment that you can get. And you have to fight for it. And it's interesting, the relationship I have with my oncologist now. When I first started seeing her, and she was always like, I was frustrating her, and I kind of loved it, because she would say, why don't you just do what I ask you to do? And I said, because I want to know what you're doing, and I want to research it. And so I delayed things, and because I wanted to know, exactly what she was prescribing, and exactly what path that she wanted. And then she came to find out that, hey, this person is really serious about getting better, and so I want to help them. And so we came to an understanding. It wasn't designated or anything like that, but she knew that, I was doing everything that I could to fight for my life, and that's what it's all about. And she was not going to sweep stuff under the rug with me, and she was not going to just, hurry up. I still ask questions. In fact, I got my test results from my bone scan, and the first thing I did was I sent her a message. Hey, please help me understand what all this stuff means, and so she knows where I'm coming from now. I've been on every appointment that I've had with her. I've been right on time, and so she knows that I'm a serious patient about my health, and so she started treating me accordingly. She started treating me as a human being, which I really love. So fight for yourself. No matter what you're dealing with, it's a matter of, waving your hand and saying, hey, I am here, I need help, and I'm counting on you. And so, yeah, that's it's such a great thing to connect with somebody who thinks the same way, and who approaches things the same way, because that's how the community grows, and that's how your network grows, is connecting with people who believe the same things that you do, and are willing to fight in the same way. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, everything you were saying, like going back to, the doctor first treating you like just a normal patient, and then realizing, well, he's doing his own research, he's asking questions, and now she's treating you like a human because she gets it. Like, and that's it. Like, we have, as a society, I feel like we've been taught to allow people to dictate our lives for us. But when we when we start to take control and navigate our lives and take responsibility and ask questions, we can change outcomes to pretty much, I believe, anything. And yeah, and that just starts with at the doctor, asking questions, researching the prescriptions. One of the things that I started to ask my doctors was like, well, how many clients have you healed with what I'm going through? And I'll say, like, how many patients have had a good reaction to this prescription, and are they better now? Because what I realized was, like, it was more of like them putting a Band-Aid than wanting me to get better. But that Band-Aid, was making me worse because it wasn't addressing the root problem, the root cause. So you've got to get to the root. And I feel like the only way to do that is to be your own health advocate, to not rely on others, to ask questions, to research. And I think, one of the things that I love to tell people now is that the doctor works for you. It's your health insurance. You get a choice, Do you like what they're saying? Are they listening to you? Do they have empathy? Do they have compassion? If not, thank them. It's like bless and release and move on to the next one, because there are so many doctors out there. And that's what I did. I just kept, like doctor shopping, and like, okay, well, you did your whole protocol with me, but I'm not feeling better. On to the next one. And then finally, eventually, after so many years of doing that, I was like, I got to change and just do my own research and be my own advocate, and trust myself, and yeah, and then doors open, it's like, as soon as you step back and you're like, you know what, I gotta change. So this isn't working. And then you become open to learning something new. I feel like that's when you meet someone, or that's when you come across a book that can help you, or that's when you come across a YouTube video on To Be Your Own Hero, and that YouTube video helps you. I really feel like once you decide that, you know what, I got to do things differently. Like, once you step back, then the doors open. And that's really what I experienced. Is like, once I was like, all right, they just want me disabled and on their meds and on their injections and on, everything. And I'm like, that's great. But like, I'm 31. Like, this can't be me. This wasn't me. And then the doors started to open, one thing after another. And now I've reversed and healed everything I've struggled with my whole life. So I just feel like, any symptom, whether you're having hypertension or having trouble sleeping, it's all an invitation from your body to do things differently. And so for me, for 30 years, I relied on the doctor. And then when I decided, hey, I got to do things differently, and I became my own health advocate, is when my whole life transformed. And one of the things that really brought Mark and I together is that we're just really happy people. We genuinely want the best for everybody. And we're just like positive. But when I was really sick, in that really dark place, I was no longer that person. And I saw that was something wrong with me. Like, I got to get this better, because this is just not me. I'm usually that really happy person for everybody. Even if things weren't going great in my life the way I wanted it to be, I was always had this positive attitude. And so that's what really brought Mark and I together, was like, we are just like positive, happy people, and we just want the best for people. And so by Mark creating the YouTube channel To Be Your Own Hero, I mean, that just, goes to show how big your heart is, Mark, that you just, even when you're at the darkest of like a dark in your life, maybe you're like, no, I want to teach people how to be their own hero, because that's it. We got to be our own hero and rely, on, and trust ourselves. And when things aren't going a certain way, we got to have trust in ourselves that we can course correct and change it. And, that's what, I did in my life, and that's what Mark's doing in his life. And I really, truly believe, some people are like, I'm too old, but I feel like Mark and I came together because we're different age ranges and we're saying the same thing. This can be, anybody at any age can change course and get better and be better mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, the way Mark and I have.
Thank you so much, Katie. What I'd like to do is I'd like to wrap up this session, and I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here at To Be Your Own Hero. Please subscribe, like, make a comment in the comment section. And once again, I'd like to rededicate this video to my friend who passed away, Lauren Luau, and John Padrick, her husband. And I'm my heart's out to their families, and God bless them. I mean, I know Lauren is in a much better place, and you know, I'm gonna miss her tremendously. You know, she was always right there and always had, you know, positive things to say, and you know, we, you know, hit stuff off of each other all the time, and just, you know, that's what life's all about, is just the connection that you have with people. And yeah, I'll never forget Lauren. She was just such a beautiful person who you know, I connected with very deeply. And you know, and I wish her well on her new journey. And Lauren, I'm thinking of you, and God bless you. But thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you, Katie, for joining me and for doing this interview. And this is part one, and we will be doing part two next week. And so once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.